Welcome to Match Play with your host, Ray Adams. Today, Ray interviews Tina Toombs, professional golfer and teacher.
Welcome to Match Play today, and it's my privilege and pleasure to have Tina Toombs, LPGA winner and LPGA Teacher of the Year with me. Tina, thanks so much for being with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, I've known about you for a long time and followed your career and your teaching. It's a bit legendary even, your teaching, of course. And we met finally a few weeks ago, and it's great for you to be here today at the beautiful Biltmore Resort, which is your home, right, and where your academy is now for many, many years. And of course today at the Jerry Colangelo Prostate Onsite Project Golf Tournament, which helps the guys in so many different ways. We've talked about it with some Hall of Famers, and we're going to get with it with you now in your career. So take me back. You're a Canadian.
Correct.
I affectionately, well, I'm from Detroit, so close.
We're close.
And I affectionately call my Canadian friends Maple Leafs. And so here you are, a Canadian young lady growing up. I believe you're Quebec.
Quebec. I was born in Montreal, just outside of Montreal in Greenfield Park.
And were you growing up speaking French?
I grew up fluently actually speaking French. My mom is French Canadian.
Uh-huh.
My dad's English. And so I spoke more French when I was growing up than I did English. Yeah, both.
What about today?
Today, more English. I don't even speak French.
You didn't forget it.
I didn't forget it. I can pick it up pretty fast.
Sure,
but,
sure.
My mother still, of course, speaks French fluently.
So when you call mom, you have to talk.
Yeah. Well, she learned to speak English. We moved to the United States in 1974, and she learned to speak English, of course, when she met my dad. She met my dad when she was 14.
Ooh.
And so as soon as she met my dad, she had never, she didn't speak English. So she met him, he asked her out on a date, and she just said yes in French.
That's oui.
Oui. And that's how she learned from meeting him, is how to speak English. Yeah.
Very well. So, growing up in Canada, it's a little bit of cold weather there. Tell me about your golf. How'd you get started? How did it lay out?
Well, I didn't play very much golf, in fact, not at all in Canada. My dad would take me out. He was a hockey player, of course, and he took me out to play a little bit of golf. And I just remember as a young little girl, I would swing my dad's clubs. And I do remember swinging them in the backyard, and I let go of a club and it went through a window.
Oh.
So I remember that, in the backyard.
But that was okay.
That was okay, because I was just swinging and
sure.
I was just little. But I really did start playing most of my golf in New Hampshire. I was 12 years old.
Family moved there.
We've moved there.
Dad's work, I guess.
Dad's work. My dad was transferred to New Hampshire,
sure.
Bedford, New Hampshire. So I started playing there.
Were you playing in like the AJGA? Were you playing in local little leagues?
Just local tournaments, but I started in junior clinics at the club that we belonged to.
Okay.
And the pro there said to my dad, she has some talent.
Did you instantly love it and want to just beat balls all day?
Nope.
Or did you kind of go grudgingly?
I didn't even go grudgingly. I just went, they signed me up on a Saturday, junior clinic, my parents did. And I was a swimmer.
Okay.
And I broke my collarbone when I was 14, and so I couldn't swim that summer.
You broke it swimming? I thought the water was soft.
Yeah, it is soft. I broke it on the 4th of July outing, and I fell and broke the collarbone. So I ended up caddying, which is driving carts. And my mom took me to the New England Amateur. My mom is a very good golfer, and took me to the New England Amateur. And I caddied for this college player, and I came back from that tournament and said, I want to play golf.
And what was your age at that point?
14.
You were 14, and by that time you had come over to, now I want to play.
Now I want to play.
What was the difference?
I saw some competitiveness in this gal, and I saw her hit the ball far, and I thought, I want to do that.
What about your swimming?
I couldn't swim because of the collarbone.
Oh, you were done.
So
It was career ending.
Yep.
But wasn't that collarbone, if it was career ending for swimming, didn't it affect you in your swing?
I think it affects a little bit of my left arm, but...
Does it help you because it was broken and you favored it all, or?
No, I didn't favor.
Okay,
I
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I just.
Don't go break your collarbone and think
Yeah,
you're going to be an LPGA or a PGA Tour player, because you're not.
You're not, no. But, well, you never know. I did a lot of sports. I played basketball, I skied, I ran track, I threw the shot.
So you were an all-around athlete and loved it all.
Loved it all.
But you fell in with golf the most.
And one of the biggest reasons I think I did was because I could do it on my own time.
Yeah.
I could practice when I wanted to. I could do other things.
You're in high school about the time you make these decisions.
Freshman in high school.
Were you on the high school team? Did they even have a team?
We had a boys team.
Were you on the boys team?
I played on the boys team.
How did they feel about that?
I think
about
first,
that.
About that.
Do you hear me get Canadian here?
Yeah. I think at first they were kind of shocked that a girl was playing on the team, but.
Well, you weren't the first to do it.
Back there I was.
Back there in your town maybe, but there were other young ladies that did that growing up. I know Marilyn Smith told me things and others.
Right.
So here you are playing on the boys' high school golf team, and how'd you do?
I did okay. I played #1 for the last couple of years on that team. And what ended up happening was I just loved it, and I worked 8 hours a day. I was on the golf course every time. The minute I got out of school, I went to the course and practiced.
Did you know then that you were that good?
I didn't know I was that good, but I knew.
Did your parents?
I think my coach did, and he must have told my parents. I had a wonderful coach. He coached Pat Bradley, and he gave some lessons to Jane Blaylock. He was a very good instructor in New England, and my parents took me to him.
Two unbelievable players right there, fabulous.
Yeah, fabulous. And they were, I mean, I looked up to them and I followed their careers. And
Sure.
So it was wonderful for me.
Sure.
Good friends of mine.
You went to the LPGA in 1988.
Correct.
How did you get there?
Well, I was, in 1980, I was recruited by ASU.
Yes, you went to ASU.
And I played at
Sun
ASU.
Devil.
I'm a Sun Devil. Love it, yes. And played here for 5 years. I was, my freshman year, I played a couple events. And at that time, we could also redshirt if you didn't play a certain number of tournaments. So I redshirted my first year, played full 4 years after that.
Did anybody play with you, or did you play against some folks we know?
Yes, I played with Heather Farr.
Who?
I played with Danielle Makapani
Famous,
at the
wonderful
time.
woman, Heather Farr.
Correct. Great, very good friend of mine.
And Daniela Makapani.
Daniela Makapani.
Sure.
Lori Merton. My freshman year, I played with Pia Nilsson.
Oh, yeah.
All the wonderful gals.
She would later be the captain of the Handicap for the world team that you also played on.
That I played on. Correct.
It's funny how golf all comes around and about.
Around in
you know,
a circle.
people think, Tina, people think that golf is this massive, global, worldwide sport, and it is, but it isn't so massive. It's really about the size of a dime when it comes to knowing people all over the world.
And she was like, she was a mentor to me as well, because when I was a freshman, she'd always call me the little freshman, and she kind of helped me through it. She was like a mom to me in school, you know.
Sure.
She would tell me where to go and what to do, even though she was a senior and I was a freshman, so it was great.
What happened after ASU?
After ASU, I turned, professional, and I tried to qualify. It took me 2 times to go through the tour school.
Sure.
In '87, I got my card and went out on tour in '88.
You went out on tour '88, played till 1999. I guess one of the highlights, if not the highlight of your playing days in 1990, you won the Jamie Farr Classic by a couple of strokes over some great players. You also had a playoff a couple of years later, but you succumbed in the playoff.
Yeah.
But you had lots of choices and lots of chances, and you had lots of fun, and you did have a good career. We'll be right back with more Match Play with Ray Adams.
There is a place where reality exceeds your dreams, where time is not measured in days, hours, or minutes, but in smiles, new experiences, and new friends. A place where happiness is not a feeling, it's a way of life. Here, you're not just a visitor, you're family. There are many languages in the world, and our smile speaks them all.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid. The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. It's very easy to set up. You just take two pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, two little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in and you're ready to go. It's not big, it's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the putting stroke teacher and make more putts.
Order the putting stroke teacher today. Golf. Yeah, you love it, but we all know just how frustrating it can be. That's unless you were born with a golf club in your hand. The Legacy Golf Performance Center is a virtual golfer's paradise designed to take your game to brand new heights. Yeah, that high. Our certified and friendly professional staff utilizes all state-of-the-art golf technologies to help get you swinging and putting just like a pro. You got that right. You're a golfer because you golf. Golfers carry a lot of stuff they need, like your rangefinder, your cell phone, your dog. Okay, maybe not your dog. What you need is a secure organizer. What you need is the Range Gripper. The Range Gripper grips, secures, and protects all your important golfing electronics. Now that's cool. The durable Range Gripper also comes in a variety of awesome colors. Grip, secure, and protect all your important golfing electronics with the Range Gripper.
And now, back to Match Play with Ray Adams. Tell me about those playing years in the LPGA in that era.
Well, we had some great, in that era it was fun, I think, a lot of fun. We played, you know, it was the time when we didn't have a lot of kids, so I have two daughters, so we, you know, I was part of that era also that we started the daycare. So, you know, now there's a lot more children out there.
And your contemporaries, who did you play against and who are you friends with out on tour?
I was friends with Kathy Gehring, Julie Inkster, Myra Blackwelder.
Julie Inkster's still playing competitive golf.
Yes. It's great.
She's that good.
And she's going on her third year as captain of the Solheim Cup.
Yes, yes.
Team,
Keep going. Who else did you play with?
I played with Nancy Lopez. I played with Annika. I played with, you know, all the gals that played in the 90s I played with.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Joanne Carner, I played tons of practice rounds and tournaments with Joanne. My first US Open.
Joanne Carner was one that you might have beat for that tournament.
Yes, we, her and Betsy King.
Yeah, Betsy King was on this show. Nancy Lopez has been on this show, and a host of other great LPGA players. Absolutely.
In fact, the tournament I won, I was 4 shots back going into the last round, and I won by 4.
And what was your mindset? You know, this is good. Let's touch down there for a minute, because for the players watching us, for the golf enthusiasts that are watching us, both men and women alike, when they're playing in their member guest or they're playing with their friends just on a Saturday at a local muni, wherever they might be playing, how are you behind and have the right mentality to pull yourself together to go on and beat your friends out there? What did you do, and what's the lesson for the viewers today?
I was preparing for a year, just as with my routine. It was really preparing my routine to go play so that I can be in any situation. So I was breathing, doing a lot of breathing.
Breathing.
Because breathing, when we get nervous, just like in any situation, we hold our breath. If we hold our breath, we get tight. And then we start thinking. So I think the breath, just like in any sport, a lot of sports, they're moving, so they're always breathing. In golf, we're standing still, and there's a lot of time to think. So just taking that deep breath, breathing in, holding it, and letting it out, I think helped me. Also, I was so determined.
Something I know about you and that I've read about you is that you are a very, very determined person. Once you decide you're going to do it, it will happen. Tell me about that part of you.
Yeah, my husband tells me I have tenacity.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you're a guy, it means you're a bulldog.
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
won't.
But
tenacity.
Tenacity. Yeah, I am determined. I think that.
Where does that come from?
You know, I don't really know.
Mom, Dad, the cold winters in Canada. Where does it come from?
Well, when I was a child, I have epilepsy, And
Wait, you have epilepsy? Still?
Still. I was born with it. So I've always, most parents would say, hey, you can't go do different things. And so I always felt, and especially coming from New Hampshire and playing, I just always felt like I had to work harder and do things. And so,
did your parents open the door and say, Tina, you can do anything you want to do, let's not worry about this epilepsy? So they encouraged you on, whereas others might have protected you and held you back a bit out of fear that you might somehow or other be hurt
or something might happen. And,
sure.
So I always just went and worked hard and plowed through. My parents just supported me and said, hey, go, we'll be there for you. With
do
the
you
support
know
system.
when an epileptic attack is coming on before
I
it comes
can
on?
sense it now, but I have a great doctor. I've been with Dr. Tryman over at Barrows now for 10 years. One of the biggest reasons why I stopped playing the tour was because of that situation and condition and raising my daughters. But
did it affect you during your playing days on the tour? How?
Yeah. Just the stress of traveling and
middle of the round, maybe even?
Sometimes, a couple times in the middle of the round.
And you had to stop and do what?
Just stop and take a breath, and just my caddy knew what was going on. Just wait, and yeah.
And the tour, of course, you had to medically let them know. I'm presuming.
I
you
never
told them.
No one knew.
No one knew.
No one knew.
For all those years.
No one knew.
Because you were at those years, you just didn't tell people, or you were afraid, or why? It wasn't talked about?
Wasn't talked about, and I was just probably embarrassed about it more. I don't know, but I think that's just part of who I am. I think in that I just have a hard work ethic. I just have always.
See, maybe because of the epilepsy, it put you in a position where you felt like you needed to work harder and be more tenacious in order to accomplish your goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great lesson for life.
Yeah.
So Tina, after you left the LPGA Tour due to raising your children and maybe somewhat about the medical situation a little bit, and the stress and all that, you went on to become one of the best known teachers and prolific teachers in the country. And I know just recently, a couple of 3 years ago, you were honored by being the LPGA Teacher of the Year. So let's talk about your teaching for a little bit. What is your teaching philosophy? How do you take somebody and what do you do with them that makes you a great teacher?
Well, I think my passion and my experience in my career, being a player, knowing what it takes to become a player and to play the game, and then the passion that I have to just to give back to the game, first of all, but second is to give the student, let them enjoy the game. Whatever level they want to enjoy the game at, whether it's a professional to a beginner.
Stay tuned for a big announcement from Tina from the Women's Golf Expo.
Creating a revolutionary product starts by asking, what if? What if we loaded every inch with game-changing innovation? What if we had a flight tuning system to control ball flight, roll face and cup face technologies for explosive power, slipstream sole technology for more speed, and dual carbon tech with 8 adjustable loft settings? And what if all this technology and performance costs significantly less than the competition? Exotics EXS by Tour Edge. Pound for pound, nothing else comes close. Mother Nature provides the canvas. We help to make it a work of art. Brought to you by the members of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
The Sights and Sounds of Golf, brought to you by Mother Nature and the members of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America.
Introducing the Putting Stroke Teacher Training Aid.
The putting stroke teacher helps the better player, the PGA Tour player, the pro that wants to get out on tour, because the first thing it's going to do is get these forearms lined up square and your shoulders lined up square. And that's the thing my dad and I worked on when I led the tour in putting, and it's the thing I'm constantly checking today to make sure that those are lined up. And that's going to really affect the path that the putter head swings on. Very easy to set up. You just take 2 pieces, stick them together, put it on the end of your putter, 2 little Velcro straps, and boom, you're in, and you're ready to go. It's not big. It's very tiny. You can take it apart and stick it in your golf bag. Get the Putting Stroke Teacher and make more putts.
Order the Putting Stroke Teacher today.
And now, back to Match Play with Ray Adams.
I am so excited to be standing here with one of my favorite people. She just recently won for the second time, and one of only 4 people in history that has ever won Teacher of the Year again. And Tina Toombs, welcome to Match Play. Thanks for being here at Women's Golf Day at the beautiful Weston Kierland Resort and Golf Club. And this has been a wonderful day. This event is winding down. Cheyenne Woods was here. She gave a clinic. But you're on the board. You're wearing the purple shirt to identify you as one of the important LPGA teachers and one of the organizers and the driving force behind Women's Golf Expo. Tell me about it.
Well, the Women's Golf Expo is to bring more awareness and get more women out playing golf in Arizona and Phoenix. And ultimately, we're here to support girls golf in Phoenix as well, and to raise money and get more girls playing golf.
Do you teach any of those girls golf?
I'm a site director at the Biltmore, so I have Tina Toombs Golf as a Phoenix site director. So I have a lot of young girls playing. I work with Corey Matheson, who is our director here in Phoenix that runs all of our programs. So she has tournaments and mother-daughter tournaments, father-son tournaments and stuff like that. And she really is behind a lot of what happened here today. Sandy LeBove is our host, and Sandy and I sat down a few years back and brainstormed and came up with the idea. And then now we have this committee with Jill Manstrite, who's phenomenal with Versatile Golf. And then Kierland is, of course, wonderful because they help us put this whole thing together, and they do a fantastic job. So we just have a great group.
Now, there was so many young girls here today. There was lots of moms and aunts and grandmothers, but I saw a bunch of dads as well, and grandfathers, and all the folks coming out for the Women's Golf Expo. When you look at the growth of girls coming to the game in the last few years, why do you think that so many girls are coming into golf? Are they doing it in addition to dance and cheer and music and theater and all the other extracurricular activities that girls are involved in? Or are they tending to pick a sport and go with it, and they're picking golf, many of them?
I'm actually seeing both sides. I'm seeing young girls that are just playing golf, and then I'm seeing girls that are playing all sports, and they're trying to figure out which one they want to play. I kind of like the girls that are playing all sports and figuring out which one they like, and honestly, I hope they stick with golf.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good to get well-rounded, and golf is becoming a lot more fun for girls because there's so many more activities involved with it. When I started playing, there was just no girls playing, so I played with the boys.
You did. You played on the boys' golf team, didn't you?
Yeah, I played on the boys' golf team in high school, and so did many other girls. And so the first girls' team I ever played on was here at ASU, and so I think these young girls are really coming into golf at a great time, and their dads see that, and they see it as a great opportunity. And now dads are wanting young girls to play, and they want their wives to play with them, and it's becoming more of a family sport, which is wonderful.
Well, you're one of the best nationally, Tina Toombs, and you've just won this award for a second time where you're the Teacher of the Year. Tell me a little bit more about that award, and then there's another award that you just won too. And you go ahead and brag on yourself a little bit. Go right ahead.
Well, the LPGA National Teacher of the Award was a very shocking surprise to me. I didn't expect to win. I was nominated by our members here in our Central Section. I'm the president of our Central Section, and for my second term now, and I was nominated by one of our members and selected by the executive committee based on, my resume, I guess. So. Yeah. When I found out I won the award, I was actually in tears, crying, because I was so surprised and shocked because it's such an honor.
Yeah, we could hear you all over the valley.
Yeah, all over the valley.
Crying your guts out.
I really was. It meant a lot. It meant a lot.
I know. And what about the other award?
Well, I found out that I was just selected to be on Golf Magazine's top 100 teachers list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a very exciting.
Now, is that top 100 teachers both men and women?
Men and women.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
you're in there in the big leagues, Tina Toombs?
Well, I don't know. You know, for me, it's an honor, and I'm just totally excited to be around people that love to learn, and a passion that I have to learn and to keep instructing and getting people to love the game. So for me, it's really continuing to learn, and I'm so excited that I can be a part of that and that they selected me. I was also crying when I found out that, because it's so emotional for me and exciting. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person that you got when they were younger, or teenager, or whatever, and they went on to do something that we might know about?
For me, well, when I was younger, you mean? I grew up in a little town in New Hampshire, so my famous person that you would know that I followed in golf at that time was Pat Bradley and Jane Blaylock.
Yes.
And they kind of instilled to me what golf was. Also, I followed the Red Sox big time as a kid, so of course I'm a big fan of the Red Sox.
Big red machine.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you, as a golf teacher, have you had some star students that have gone on?
I have, yeah. I mean, I have star students that I teach and stuff. I teach a lot of athletes here in town and celebrities and stuff, and I have young players that are playing on the mini tour, and so I help a lot of the gals that are out on our senior tour, LPGA senior tour, and the Symetra tour. I haven't worked with anyone on the LPGA tour because I actually don't go out there. I was out there for so long, there's part of me that wants to stay away from that travel. So I hesitate to go out on the weekends and travel and be on the road again. So I would love to teach them here when they're here, but I really don't want to go travel again.
So final word from Tina Toombs about Women's Golf Expo as one of the driving forces behind it. Tina, if we have a dad or a mother or any family member, or even a teenage girl or a young girl watching the show, what is your best advice for that young lady to get involved in golf? What's your best advice?
My best advice is to get your daughter involved with Girls Golf of Phoenix. Let her be around other girls, playing golf, going to the clinics, having fun. If they fall in love with the game and they have fun playing games and they find out that other girls are doing it and they can go there and laugh, compete in a fun environment and not take it too serious at the beginning, they fall in love and then they will get hooked. Once they get hooked, then you won't have to beg them to come to the course, they'll want to go. And I think by doing that, you get more girls and more young players playing golf. And that's what I think is the connection, is just getting more girls playing with girls. And even the girls that play with the boys, I think, is really exciting. I have a lot of classes where I integrate both, and the girls compete with the boys and the boys compete with the girls, and it's a great interaction.
That's great. Tina Toombs, two-time Teacher of the Year. Wow. My daughter would say, who finally as an adult got herself involved with golf. I tried when she was little, but no. So she finally got involved with golf, went to a charity event and made like a $25 check for making, not a hole-in-one, but she got close to the pin or something, I can't remember recently. And as my daughter would say, this whole thing with you, Tina, has been a big whoa boy.
Thank you. It's great.
All right, Tina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is a place where reality exceeds your dreams, where time is not measured in days, hours, or minutes, but in smiles, new experiences, and new friends. A place where happiness is not a feeling, it's a way of life. Here, you're not just a visitor, you're family. There are many languages in the world, and our smile speaks them all.